Once I had a heart, a liver and a brain, fell on my own sword. Now this is what remains, raised up by dark magic, then my flesh was shed. Now I serve my master as animated dead. Every new adventurer is fodder once they're floored, a walking bag of bones to add to our decor. They bring us everything we need inside our worthless hides. From within their flesh, our new soldier shall arise. Welcome to the dance macabre, the eternal skeletal mob, rattling our bones to necromantic tones. And on your widest grin, I'll become a skeleton. Dance macabre. I have no tongue with which to speak, no sinews guide my hand. Still I march in step to my dark master's command. I no longer love or hate, all my feelings left behind. I'll fight until I fall apart, final peace I cannot find. Clerics try to turn me, but I just walk away. Once their prayers are over, they too become my prey. When we reach the city walls, no mortal life will last. Leave your organs where you fall, your flesh is in the past. Welcome to the dance macabre, the eternal skeletal mob, rattling our bones to necromantic tones. Put on your widest grin and become a skeleton. Dance macabre, dance macabre, dance macabre, dance macabre. Please don't misconstrue, we've got a bone to pick with you. There's no going home, there's a skeleton you own. Welcome to the dance macabre, the eternal skeletal mob, rattling our bones to necromantic tones. And on your wildest grin, I'll become a skeleton. Dance macabre.
Hello, everybody. Oh, hey, I should probably turn my camera on. That would probably be a good idea. Oh, it's Friday, everyone. It's Friday. Yay! TGIF. There we go. All right, that's better. Something. It's always something, folks. Oh, I should probably go to the time gate because we're doing time gates today. It's a time gate weekend. Woohoo! Free time gate weekend. We also had a content drop this week. Sword Coast 14 with some interesting new missions that I already did. Gobbled them up. And we have a champion spotlight. There's weekend stuff. Oh, did I not? I didn't restart for my weekend stuff. Well, you know what? Hold on. Hold on. Did I do this right? I did. Boom! Stormbringer Ayla, everybody. So in the weekend stuff this weekend, this is the stuff. You get this cool skin for Ayla, and a feat. It's the heavily armored feat, which arguably doesn't need to exist. It's like, I think what Sean said earlier was it's 60% health increase. Ayla doesn't need more survivability. It's just super survivable. But sure. Sure. Why not? Why not? Yeah. So that's, we're gonna look at that in game here in a bit. But let's get into a free time gate weekend. What are my options? Show me what my options are. Sentry, Nrak, or Rosie Bee Stinger. Well, folks, it's been nice seeing you. Yeah, that deserved a sip of the root beer. I don't... My Sentry's already got her item capped. So I don't need Sentry. So I guess I'm doing Rosie Bee Stinger. She's got the lowest item levels. So yeah, so basically that's how it works, folks. You're gonna get, everybody gets 3 unique choices. I mean, there's probably some duplication out there somewhere with as many Idle Champions players as there are now. There are people are doing the same thing somewhere. But generally speaking, you're gonna get 3 that are tailored to you. There's always gonna be one you don't own unless you own them all, like you just saw with me there. Yeah, and then I did a whole, you know what? Now would probably be a time to talk about the time gate guide I wrote. I probably should have had a link for that. Hey, what do you know? I do. I just put it in chat. So Time Gates 101, the most recent new 101 guide. It now exists on the subreddit. You can check that out for more information on your time gates. It talks about both natural and manual time gates. But usually what people want to know is, who should I choose? Well, for me, because I owned all 3 of them and I didn't need gear for the one that is based on gear, I just up my item levels on the lowest one. But for you, you can toss your options in chat. People will answer. I'll answer too. I'll get to them eventually. We've already got Sasha pulling questions in the question doc on my screen right now. But you're going to get 3 options, or you're going to get 3 adventures and a free play. Well, 2 adventures, a variant. This is a variant. And a free play. So the variant, I got lucky. I only have to get to 75. That's fantastic. So that means I can rock through these first 2 and then just get to 75 on this one and bail and be done. So let's do that. Oh yeah, that's fine. Take my patron off. Hey, Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything is live. It is. It's not lying. Do I have a speed formation? I do not. It's been a long time since I did Rosie. All right. Well, we will load up. What I am going to do is just load up with speed champions. Who do I want? Oh, none of these are really speed champions. If you'll note, I'm using the new portraits, everybody. I'm using the new portraits. Maybe we'll do gold find. Sure. I also have the skinny boxes going on. If you haven't seen this was a new update just this week. It should be on PC. Should be on Steam and the Epic Game Store at this point. Should be. It takes a little getting used to in terms of them staring at me like they're judging me and my ability to build a formation, which is what they're doing, folks. Right into your soul. Judging. Anyway. So that happened. That's a thing that happened. I need some speed. I'm just going to use an hour. Let's do like an hour fire breath. I usually just do an hour damage and an hour gold find. This is how I do my time gates. You don't have to do things the way I do them, folks. I don't know who I want to use for this yet. Rumor on the street is Kreidel got a bug fix. And now he's usable? I don't know. Maybe we'll throw Cridolin and find out. Maybe we'll throw Cridolin and find out. Hey, there's Ayla. Let's use Ayla because Ayla's it's Ayla's weekend. Speaking of, here we go. Strength in Numbers weekend. For a second there, I thought it was just Torgar and Ayla, and I was all like, they're getting real ironic with the titles lately. No, okay. They just had to load in. So we got Torgar. It's not showing, but it's not showing me buffs. Sean! Delana. Ayla's Storm Soul, at least. Okay, yeah. Dinar's Lead by Example. Nally's Aura of Courage. Will it tell me over here? No. Nope, Torgar's is bugged. Torgar's tooltip is bugged. No worky. This chest has like a barbell on top of it? I guess all of these people lift? Is that what they're saying? So here we go, yeah. Increases the health of Ayla 60%. And you get the skin. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to happen. It's probably going to happen. Because, I mean, if they're going to give me even more survivability for Ayla, what am I going to do? Say, no! How dare you? That's not going to... It's not going to be a thing I'm going to say. Can you stop at some point? No, it can't. What do we got? Oh, I'm going to need another tank up there. You're going to need maybe... Oh, yeah, because we've got Ayla. And we'll put Tyrell in the back. Tyrell in the back. Moonbeam. Alright. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Alright, we're going faster. We're getting zoomy. Come on. Go, go, go. Alright. What else are we going on? Let's see what's going on in the questions. In the questions. Wow, that filled up quick. Gee, Sasha. Stop being so good at your job. I didn't say that. Alright. First up, Naughty Bear. Welcome to the weekend. Buying at least 3 gold weighted chests gets you the Ayla skin and feet. It doesn't unlock Ayla if you don't already have her, correct? Ooh. What does it say? No. Yeah. It looks like it doesn't get you Ayla. It's just going to put those in storage for you for when you get Ayla. For when you get Ayla. I would guess. That's usually how it works. Onyx Squared. Sorry, they beat you to it. Yeah. Yeah, Sasha can find out for confirmation, I'm sure. I just gave Sasha more work. But it's my understanding that when it's a sweetener like this on the weekend, you don't get the champion 2. You don't get the champion 2. And then we're going to have Melf. Come on. Melf it up. There we go. Sorry, folks. We're going real fast today. We're going real fast. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Yeah, let's turn that off. Let's turn that off. And let's save this as gotta go fast. It's going into 1. Yeah. There we go. Free time gate question. Avrin, Binwin or Rosie? Avrin. Wait, hold on. I don't have Rosie yet. No epics on Avrin. 40 champs to... Oh, so you already have some of these. You don't have epics on Avrin yet. Get Avrin. Go Avrin to try to get, you'll get 3 shots at getting an epic, which is better than none. What's going on? Bessel? Balos, Stokier, Turiel, and why? I already have 3 in each slot. Oh. Baloth. Because Baloth has a djinn named Najim that helps out your party specifically by protecting you if you're about to die. He buffs you, and then you can rotate. I've been doing this on my stream lately, and it's been kind of blowing people's minds. You rotate everybody through that kind of tank spot and let everybody almost die, and have Najim save them all, and they all end up with a little picture of Najim on them We call it gen stacking, and suddenly you have an outrageous buff from Baloth and his Jinn friend Najim. And it allows you to push much, much further. So get Baloth. Get Baloth. Warden Krondor zaps. Warden. Warden's a debuffer. Well, technically he's a DPS support, but I tend to use him as a support debuffer. And it's really nice because his debuff lingers, which means you can stack his debuff up, and then you pull him out and put somebody else in, and the debuff still sticks around. So it helps you destroy the really tough bosses. Torgar or Binwin, either one. Greenwald. I think they're both probably good. Yeah, no, I would go either one currently. Birdsong Warden or Torgar Warden. Dinar or Wolfgar. Ooh. Onyx Squared. I would say Dinar. Dinar, yeah, because I'm thinking Wolfgar's generally just a gold find thing for Azaka farming, but so is Dinar, but Dinar also is a support that's fantastic. So Dinar. Draconine, Narak, Neris, or Shaka? Narak. Githzerai focus is just it's coming up a lot in the meta lately. So whether you're doing Azaka farming or Kira stacking or any other shenanigans, Narak enables shenanigans. Narak enables shenanigans. Should I choose Dadius or Neris? Third option is Human, but I have him already. Oh, okay. I want to say Dadius for Alcoria stuff, for Alcoria reasons. But yeah, that's probably still fine. That's probably still fine. I mean, they both can function as a support, so I would say Dadius. What is Torgar's thing in the Strength and Numbers weekend? It's not showing me anything from the UI. I have no idea. I have no idea because it's not showing anything from me either. It's going to be one of his abilities, 200%. Hold on, let me go look at him. And I'll take a let me take a look. Ooh. Part of me wants to say Preach, but that's all other evil champions. Since he's in the first position, maybe it's Markings of a Zealot 200%? Because it's not I mean, Delana would be here for DPS. So maybe Preach? I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I think Sean probably knew, and he probably stated it this morning, and I don't. I was working while he was talking. Frida Krond or Krull. Krull. Stormageddon. Krull. Krull's doing major work for me on my new player account, even though I mean I can get, because all I can do, here's the thing. Man, that sentence went a lot of different places and ended up nowhere. Here's the thing. I know I just did a tutorial on the Azaka or the Ashara meta. And I talked about how Ashara is super strong. But that only really truly fires off and works if you can light up both of her bonds. If you can get 3 in both bonds. If you can only get 3 in Potpourri, Krull and someone else probably going to push further. Probably going to push further and earn you more gold along the way. That's just reality. That's just the reality of the situation. And early game when you're a new player, gold means so much. Gold means so much. Later on, whatever. But early on, big deal. So Krull. Strix or Penelope? Penelope. She's cuter. Well, that's not fair. Strix is cute, but Penelope. Penelope skips along. She doesn't walk. Come on. Baloth, Wolfgar, or Rosie Baloth? Portia, Kron, Lucius, or Rosie? Ooh. if you enjoy using the other heroes of Erois, Lucius is kind of their DPS, but I don't know that he was really amazing. Kron needs a lot of gear, and Rosie's just not great. So, Kron or Lucius? Kron or Lucius? Torgar, Regis, or Paulton? Regis. Hands down, Regis. Regis is fantastic. Debuffer. Buffer and debuffer. Combination. Rumor has it he has a heal too, but I don't usually really put much stock in his heal. It happens. But it's not consistent, so I don't count it. Personally. Morgaine, Darius, or Vlanya. None of them are helping with Split the Party, and I'm frustrated. Oh, yeah, no, I get you. Morgaine. Morgaine's super versatile. Meaning you basically just put her anywhere in a formation, and she's going to do work for you. And her specializations help you adjust her to that. So, I'm going to say Morgaine. J-Pools. With more and more champions being added, do you feel that it waters down the equipment you can find in chests? I'm having a hell of a time finding my last few epics. Not really. I mean, literally, yes. Literally, yes. That's the literal answer. Yes. The more champions you add to a pool of chests, the harder it is to pull the things that you might specifically want. So literally, yes. But overall, because of the amount of electrums that we get there's an endless flow, it seems like, over 25 a week. Over 30 in some weeks, and it could be increasing, right? Because we get so many of those, you're going to get at least basic gear for everyone, which makes them... I think once you get in full blues, you're viable. Epics are just super nice to have and help you push a little further, but you can be viable with champions. I'm using... On my new player account, I'm not even opening gold chests at all. I'm just using silvers and electrums. And I'm already in Waterdeep. I've finished all the basic storyline, and now I've got to go through and do the variants. I unlocked I unlocked Dritz, Azaka, and Dragonbait. I've split the party. I'm doing Mert stuff. So, epics are a nice long-term hunt. I definitely like them, and I want to get them on champions. But I feel like just getting to blues makes you able to play the game. And because we get so many, there's so many ways to get blues now. Yeah, I mean that's not going to change. I don't think it's going to ever change that. Like I don't know. Maybe someday they'll split. I think in one of their other games they split chests up so that there's like year 1 chests and year 2 chests or year 3 chests. Somebody who plays one of their prior games, let me know. That could be interesting, but I don't know if they have any plans to do that. So, do I choose Toragor, Frightmare, Toragor, Xander, or Korth? Korth. What was wrong with Krydle? What bug got fixed? So if we go down here to the changelog at the bottom right, as I look up to make sure that I had everything on. The bottom line here says, fix Krydle's lead with flare ability to actually increase his DPS. Wow. He's been out a while, folks. But apparently he wasn't buffing himself. I mean, I get it. You can get, downhearted with what's going on in your life and just, not really take time for yourself, and apparently he just didn't. Practice self-care, folks. I'm super new. Light to the end. Welcome. Anyone mind answering Dinar, Talon, or Krond? Dinar and Talon are both. Yeah, you're leaning the right direction. Dinar and Talon are both great supports. I would go Dinar personally because I like that Dinar heals. He can drop a heal over time anywhere in the party every second he's checking. He's also got some nice crowd control, and as a buffer he just needs to either be in the same row or ahead of whoever he's buffing, so there's a lot of flexibility there in terms of a buffage. Critter Wolf, got all of them, but who should I get gear for? Baloth, Aelor, or Regis is what I'm assuming you're saying. I mean, they're all solid. I would just look at well, I would check what epics you have, if you have any. If you don't have any, then probably Baloth or Ayla. But, you know, trying to get the... Like, let's look at Baloth real quick here. Wrong box. I don't know where anybody is anymore. So, partially paid with pain epic, and like morbid excitement, generous gins, like this kind of stuff, like these four are nice to have. This is the big one for the end part, but honestly, like paid with pain, get that gold find. For Ayla, you're hunting for her health item, which is the what the feat is for, right? So this one's slot 4. You really want that slot 4 to just super boost her health, and then Storm Soul is the other item. So, you know, look to see if you can get these two or those last 4 on Baloth to help him out. Yeah. Stormageddon, free to Chronic. Didn't we do that? Oh yes. Okay. Sorry, I looked at the wrong place. Hold on. Boom. Is a Black Cat Familiar a retired gem pet? There's no such thing as a retired gem pet. They don't retire stuff from the gem store. They retire things from the cash shop, and anything that was in the cash shop then goes into wild offers. So if you're seeing it in a wild offer, then it was retired from the cash shop. Gaarawarr, what is your stream and site convulsions? It's just going too fast. It's going too fast. Lucas, Barrow, Lazaps, or Korth? I would say Lazaps or Korth. Like, do you need a support-ish person? Korth. Do you need another tank option? Lazaps. I mean, Barrowin's a support too, but I like Korth more than Barrowin, personally. Nat W. Bacon, Krond or Ariza? I would go Ariza. I tend to prioritize supports over DPS, unless it's Zorbu. Right? Anchovies. 008. Can you introduce me to James Bond? Wolfgar and Neris. Does it even matter, or will they both just ride the bench? Wolfgar is your kind of your tank for Azaka farming. Because Wolfgar's got gold find, a little bit of gold find. It's stuck in the Companions of the Hall bonus, like the Bounty of the Hall. It's not a lot, but you know, when you're throwing together a gold find formation, you want everybody contributing some kind of gold find. Neris is a good support when you can't use anybody else. I mean, I use Neris sometimes, but you know, they're not. Yeah, neither of them are like, OMG, these are my main. This is my main group going forward. Right, that was an entire page of questions. So let's go check my progress over here, because now I have that covering the game. Okay. We have an intoxicated Yeti. All right. So be it. Can we just alt out of this? Can we alt out of this? No. No, apparently not. Apparently not. I need an actual DPS, is what this tells me. Okay, we can do actual DPS. I don't know if I'm even setting up a single bond here so far, though. Nope. Of course not. Of course not. Who do I need? That should do it, right? Okay. Alright, we'll let this push past 600, and then I'll try. Wow, we've only been going for 20 minutes on this run. Wow, okay. Yeah, that got me to 600 fast. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, Sword Coast 14 popped up this week. So this added new content. over here in the Underdark. In the Underdark. Now this throws you off because it's actually started here. But we got Neutral No More. And the Fungal Excitation variant. Underdark Spore Servants from elsewhere in the Underdark appear in each area. They do not count towards quest progress, nor do they drop gold. Each time you re-encounter an area, the number of Underdark Spore Servants increases. Great. Oops, all spores. That's basically what they should have named this. Because eventually you get to the point where, yeah. Oops, all spores. So that was the first node, and then when you finish that, we moved up. So we're moving back this way, which is neat. Encroaching Madness and Watchful Eyes. 2 Zentrum spies join the formation for this adventure. Only champions with a charisma of 14 or higher can be used. Yeah, don't like them. Get them out. Man, they butcher that formation. Look at that. But yeah, so fortunately the base numbers are only like 425. Now, once we get into the variant versions, that's... Sword Coast is getting up there for variants now, for patron variants. For patron variants, it's rough. So yeah, it's nice to see more Sword Coast content, frankly, because we went into the Underdark and then we just kind of sat there. I mean, we spoilers, fought the Demogorgon, Limugugun. But yeah, now we're just sitting in the Underdark and it's like, well, what now? What now? So it'll be interesting to see where they take us. I am very interested. Let's see. Are we? Yeah. Oh no, we're still killing pretty quickly. Let's see if we can get to 700 with this. I mean, why not? I've still got speed potions. Potions are still running. We do have a new champion to talk about because the spotlight dropped today. You can see their stuff. Right there. Right there. Corazon. Corazon de Ballena. Which is where we get this joke right here. I'm so sorry. But, you know, after 70 episodes, I gotta dig for good jokes. I gotta dig for good jokes in the episode title. Let's head back to the questions. Turiel or Ariza from the Time Gate? Turiel. Super good, not a tank for Descent into Avernus, and you do need to finish the Descent into Avernus storyline for the upcoming Trials of Mount Tiamat. Ishi or Esmeralda? Esmeralda, Robo. Esmeralda. Esmeralda is fantastic when you're in her niche, which is armored enemies or her favored enemies, or both. She's great. Wicked One, I already have 3 parties, so new Wolfgar, new Neris, or upgrade Shaka. Grab Wolfgar for your Azaka farming needs. That would be a good idea. Okay, yeah, I don't want to build it. I'm bored. I don't want to build a formation around beating that armored boss. Wow, I don't even need those hour-long potions, I guess, anymore, huh? That's a little sad. Alright. Alright. Load it in now. Let's go. Gotta love saving formations. Oh, well, when I remember to save there. After I select their specializations, which I did not do last time, and I'm paying for it. Okay. So I got my first chest. Now it's time to grab my second chest. I grabbed a bunch of favor. That was nice. I got, what? E19 favor on that first run, folks. E19 favor. So let's do it again. Because what else am I going to do with these potions? Let's see where we get. For a friend, Grama, Cathris, or Lazaps, and why? They would all be new. Grama. Grama is a fantastic support. She also shares her health, even when she's not in her tank spec, which is just super nice of her, isn't it? Yeah, and she's a debuffer. She also slows movement speed and attacks on enemies, so Grama all around. That's in her Circle of the Arctic spec, specifically. Once you get it up to like level 200, I think it is, for Freezing Breeze. That's when she I want to say catches fire, but it's freezes stuff. Yeah. Warden, Wolfgar, or Lazaps? Oh, is Lazaps coming in the next? Lazaps is coming in the next event. Hold on, folks. This changes probably some of my recommendations. Wolfgar will not be coming in the next event. Just to be clear, he was a year 1 champion, and we only get 2 champions from the past. So the most recent, Turiel and Lazap. So yeah, so if I recommended Turiel to you, then probably choose the other option, because Turiel is arriving. If I recommended Turiel or Lazaps to you, choose the other option, because these 2 are arriving in the next event. Man, I guess I gotta sit down and make that event guide so that I remember this stuff now. Yeah. So there you go. So if Turiel or Lazaps are one of your options, ignore them. Neither are worth picking up a few days early before the event. And the event's gonna happen on Wednesday at noon Pacific. So yeah, just leave those out of your calculations. So let me do this again. Warden, Wolfgar, or Lazaps? Warden. Warden. Even though Wolfgar isn't in an event anymore, you're going to get more use out of Warden, so get Warden. Once I've got all 3 missions done, I'm done with the time gate? Yeah, basically. So one of the things that I've been doing, you notice I was like, well, let's push past 600. Why did I want to push past 600? Because for every unique 100 levels I go, or you go, or we go together in a group, you get 1 silver chest for that champion. So because I got past 600, I got one. Now you'll note I'm past 100 again, but I didn't get another silver chest. It's because, again, I said for every 100 unique areas you go, you get a silver chest. So you grab your 3 gold chests. You push as far as is easy for you to do to get some silver chests, and then you call it a day. Then you're done. You can go ahead and close it. You'll be able to convert your favor right away and go do something else. It tends to be the best, most efficient use of your time, is to just get in and get out, grab what you need. It's like a smash and grab. Grab what you need and get out. Go do something else. Briv, Stokie, or Vlanya? Briv. Jamie, Briv. Briv's going to be a solid tank for you in the early and mid game. They're also a speed champion, but it's going to take a little while before they're actually useful to you as a speed champion. They need gear and item levels for that. CatGov, is Sergeant Knox any good? I mean, generally speaking, sure, they are an option for you to use. Sometimes you're not going to have access to the other champions in Sergeant Knox's slot, or you're just not going to have another tank. And folks, if you're trying to do stuff without a tank, it's a rough time, generally speaking. So having a tank available in a slot is a good idea. I mean, Evelyn was here already, but people may not have Evelyn, or maybe she's not able to be used, right? Like, you just want options. I'm finding that as I do more and more and more and more patron variants for all the different patrons, having lots of options, even if they're people that you don't always use, and are just get used in these certain situations, it's good, because otherwise you're not going to complete that content. Stormageddon, Azaka? Oh, where do they come from? Is this a hero from long ago? No, Azaka is in Tomb of Annihilation. She is an evergreen champion. So what does evergreen champion mean? It means a champion that is available year-round for you to earn in the game. They don't come from a time gate or an event. You have to go complete the content that unlocks them in the game. So the first evergreen champion, which is kind of just a core champion, open up the settings, click on the newsletter, or open up the menu, click on the newsletter, sign up, you get Hitch. Hitch is a support champion who's also a super secret DPS. The other 5 evergreens right now are Dritzt, who's available in the Sword Coast campaign, Azaka, who's available in Tomb of Annihilation, Dragonbait, available also in Tomb of Annihilation, Ulcoria is available at the very end of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. And Rhea is available right almost at the end of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. Look, folks, I don't know, it's my thumb doing weird things. Yeah. So do that stuff. Do that stuff. Get free champions. Farida or Esmeralda? I also have enough pieces for an extra time gate, so Sentry or that last Brimstone Angel that isn't Frida. You mean Havilar? Or Mehen, because there's 3 Brimstone in the Brimstone Angel trilogy, but technically it's just Frida and her twin sister Havilar are the Brimstone Angels. But yeah, I would say, I mean, I do like me some Frida as a DPS, I really do. But Esmeralda is a fantastic support that's going to help you out with segmented and armored bosses, so that might be more useful to you. You can use her with Ashara, and it just basically turns Ashara into a buzzsaw. So yeah, I would say that. And then for your time gate, I would go Sentry. Just grab that speed champion if you've got all the others. I mean, you're only saying those 2 options, so I don't know what else you have for a manual time gate. Pivy 0214. I just opened a time gate with my pieces. If I close it, will I be able to take advantage of the free time gate? Yes, but finish your manual one first. Make sure you're finishing your manual one. This natural time gate weekend that happened, it started at noon today, which was about an hour and 40 minutes ago. You get 72 hours from the time it opens to make your decision. And then once you've chosen that time gate and it pops up and you have the ability to do the missions, then you have 72 hours from that point to complete them. So you don't be scared that you're going to lose a chance to do your time gate. Just make sure you finish the one that you just opened, and then start and then grab the free one. Generally speaking, you don't want to open, for future reference, you don't want to open a manual time gate within a few days of a natural one. Just wait and see what you're going to get for free, because it might be what you wanted, and then you could use that manual one to pick something else you want. Krond Solis or Black Viper. Ooh. I'll tell you this, Everyday J, I got a lot of work out of my Solis this week, doing variants where I needed a tank, and Solis stepped up. For the most part, they're still not Ayla or Tyrell, but if I don't have those options, Solis. So I say give yourself another tank option and grab Solis. What item level do items max out or start getting diminishing returns? These are 2 questions. Von Ravakaran. I probably butchered that, but I'm doing my best. So I'm gonna split this up. At what item level do items max out? Generally speaking, they don't. There are 2 types of items that will max out. Well, actually, hold on. Let me think about this. There's one type of item that maxes out. It is an item that is based off of adjusting something by a percentage that then has a cap as to how much percent that's gonna go. So for the most part, where you're going to see this is ultimate cooldown reduction. So if we hover over Shandy here, so the items that usually in slot 6 say reduces the cooldown on an ultimate by a certain number of seconds, this item can cap, because ultimates can only be reduced by a max of 75% of their starting time. For example, the example I like to use is Brunar. Brunar's ultimate is, when you have no gear on him, is 60 seconds. It takes 60 seconds to recharge. Once you reach the cap on his item, and you have max cooldown reduction for him, 75% is gone. His cooldown then is 15 seconds. That's it. You can go over for various reasons, but it caps at this point. So, for instance, do I have anybody here that's over the cap? God, it better not be him. Here. Humon's ultimate cooldown is for this item, because it's an epic and it's a shiny. The cooldown item number you're looking for, like the max level item number you're looking for, is about 252-ish. You'll see I'm a little over that. That's because I think either I duplicated it like either I got the last little bit with an epic, or I got the shiny right after it had capped, or something like that, right? But now it's never going to get any duplicates. Nothing's ever going to drop for this one again. Now, if it wasn't shiny, it would cap at like 504 or something like that. So this is why when you get a shiny on a slot 6, it's not completely wasted, because eventually you're going to get item levels that bring it to a cap, right? It's just, you know, it's not always where you wanted it. Now, there is another type of item like this that is percentage-based, and that's on Sentry over here. Let me drag the chompers up here. Sentry's slot 3 is percentage-based as well, but it's based off this ability, Redshift. The max Redshift can be is 100%. It can only guarantee that it's going to, because it's a chance for something to happen. It's only ever going to guarantee that it happens. So when that ability gets to 100%, the item caps. And again, that's going to be at a different level depending on whether it's epic, epic shiny, or epic golden. I got the golden late, so I don't know if this would have gone down. I don't know. Like lower? I have no idea. Because normally, that's not a thing. You normally can't get a golden on something that caps, but here we are. Other items are just going to keep going. Now, the second part of your question, though, was when do they start getting diminishing returns? From the moment they start getting item levels. Usually you're going to see the most bang from your buck in their first, like, 100 levels for any item. And after that, it's going to start dropping. But technically, from the moment you start getting item levels, there's some level of diminishing returns. It's not as noticeable until it gets higher. And usually you just don't care if it's low, right? So around 100, getting like the first 100 levels give a solid boost of power, and then after that it's going to start, you know, noticeably diminishing. But that doesn't mean, depending on what the character is, that doesn't mean you stop putting item levels into them. So Jaheira or Korth for a time gate. Either one, I feel. I don't have strong opinions one way or the other there. Just note that with Jaheira, you need Jaheira in kind of from the start of your run to build up stacks. Whereas Korth, you can just drop in later at any time. So if that helps influence your decision, Duca Luciano. There you go. De Roberel. That's just how I'm doing. I'm doing everything like Corazon de Ballena today. That's what I should have done from the beginning. I should have pronounced everybody over the top with my attempt at Spanish. How far should I push in a time gate? Just as far as is easily possible. Like you just saw me push on my first run. I didn't try to go super hard with it. I just grabbed a bunch of favor and then I got out because I'm going to push further on my second run because I have favor, right? It'll be easier to push far fast on my second run. So I tend to try to then max out on my second run and push that one deep, and then I do the variant, and then I bounce. But it varies for each person. Generally speaking, you're not trying to farm a time gate for favor, and the reason behind that is it's a lower conversion percentage in a time gate than is in an event. So usually you want to save, you know, potions and deep pushing for events, because for every order of magnitude, so every E01 that you get, it's a 10% for your multiplier. So getting to E10 is a 100% multiplier, which means you get to double your favor in your permanent campaign, right? Whereas if I got that same E10 in a time gate, that's only 25% of a bonus. So it's a quarter of the value. So generally speaking, you grab what you can. It's more important, I think, to just hit that milestone level of 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, wherever that takes you, 600, and see how easy is it going to be for me to push to 700 and grab the next one, right? If it's not very easy, if it's going to take you multiple runs, then it's not worth your time and just go do something else. Sentry or Wolfgar, or Rosie, in parentheses. Project Q, that's funny. Sentry. You need a slot 10 for split the party, 2, then Wolfgar. Yeah. If you're trying to get split, if you don't have the ability to get split the party, then try to get split the party. Make that your choice. The sooner you can split the party the first time or the second time, the sooner you get those sweet, sweet Modron cores. Biohazard 1210, Lucius or Dadius. Dadius has the ability to support as well as DPS, so I would prioritize Dadius because he's more flexible. Newish player, Dinar, Human, or Deacon. Oh, this is going to be divisive, folks. In the long term, Human is better, but you don't have any gear. You're not going to have a lot of gear on him. So speed effect isn't going to be as useful as, I would say, Deacon's. Deacon's doesn't need gear. It's always on. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to say you have to choose between Human and Deacon. Human, I will tell you now, is the most overpowered... broken... speed champion in the game. But it takes an incredible amount of gear and item levels. Whereas Deacon gives you his speed right up front. So choose one of those two. I've not heard a lot about any of my 3 time gate champs. Talon, Regis, and Cathris. Any advice? I would grab Regis out of that. Regis is a good buffer and debuffer. He's also one of the companions of the hall. So he has the Bounty of Hall gold find bonus, which is useful when Azaka farming or gold farming. Like Makos farming or Azaka farming. But all 3 of those are, decent supports. I tend to use Regis more. Ayla, Xander, or Prudence? Ayla. Ayla, in my opinion, #1 tank in the game. In terms of survivability. And she's got a great debuff. I'm a new player. Should I reset at 50 and 75 on time gates? No. Is it useful to farm free play time gates? Not really. Again, so like I'm doing right now, I'm pushing as far as I can, somewhat easily do. I do that instead of just bouncing the moment I'm done, because I want to get favor that'll let me do the variant, and that variant could be 75, 125, or 175. It could be any of those, ultimately. So I want to make sure I'm getting enough favor to be able to complete all of those objectives, and I also want to grab, you at least want to try to break 100, at least 100, even if your thing says 75, so you can grab at least 1 silver chest. But if you can grab another silver chest by getting to 200 easily, do it. But that's kind of what free plays are there for. They're not necessarily to farm, because all you'd be getting out of them is favor, or you'd be trying to deep push to get another silver chest. And I mean, just a silver chest on its own isn't going to be worth it. So you've got to kind of take a look at what it is you value, what you're trying to get out of that. Generally speaking, it's you're just grabbing the chest, as many chests as you can easily get, and then going and doing something else. Kondo, Zorbu, Oriza, or Spurt. I would say go ahead and just grab Zorbu. He's the second best DPS in the game. So get him in your roster for when you can't use Ashara. Sam the Alien. How do I get a 3rd Modron core? Well, this presumes you've already got your first 2 out of Split the Party 1 and Split the Party 2. Both of those give you a Modron core. The strong core you have to pay for. Right down here, buy additional cores. If you don't have the strong core, it shows up right here in the Modron shop for 500,000 gems. It's a pricey. Strix, Rosie, or Puent. First time doing a time gate. Wow, they did not give you a great introduction to time gates. Strix. I've been doing a lot of work with Strix on my new account. She's a good AoE new player DPS that combines well with Krull. You may not have Krull yet, so that's fine, but just letting you know. Brassfinger, Sasaspia, Benwin, or Paulton. Paulton's the more generically good support champion. Sasaspia is good in the right situations. And Binwin's pure DPS, so I would probably say Paulton. I picked Ariza for Split the Party. Is she any good? I was using her just the other day in a patron variant. I mean, you can set her up and she can provide a solid buff. She can also DPS, but I don't know that I've ever used her as a DPS outside of like maybe her own event variants. But I've used her successfully as a support. Dice Told Tales. Unlock Mert, but can't break past level 250 to generate influence. What should I focus on to build power? Ooh. I mean... So, you say break past 250 to gain influence. So, it sounds like what you're having problem doing is just completing variants. So... deactivate Mert and get more favor in that campaign. I just unlocked Mert recently on my new player account, and I've done some variants with him. I've even done some fairly difficult variants, and ultimately I'm being carried by favor, right? So, I've unlocked Mert right around the time, just after I finished unlocking Dragonbait and Tomb of Annihilation, so I had over E20 favor in Tomb of Annihilation, which let me go through and do variants there. I would recommend that. So if you haven't done that, then, you've meandered a little bit. You need to gather favor and use the favor to focus. Take advantage of favor giving you power early on while it can. Because eventually it can't, and you have to get it somewhere else. Dunkern, I only have slot 2 left, then I can do Split the Party. I plan on buying a champ. Who do you recommend for slot 2? Well, first check your free natural time gate this weekend. See if you get a slot 2. Outside of that, oh man, we just had... Regis was just on sale. And his Icewind Dale skin. That would have been ideal. So yeah, I mean, generally speaking, Regis or Dinar. I mean, Talon's fine. Course fine. I don't know how Kreidel is now. But Regis or Dinar. When does the next event start? Wednesday. That doesn't sound the same as Sunday. Wednesday, September 1st. Wednesday, September 1st at noon CNE time, which is Pacific. They're in the Pacific time zone. So only 5 days away. Yeah, 5 days away. And that's going to bring the return of Turiel and Lazaps and the arrival for the first time of Corazon de Ballena, which we will use that as an opportunity to go check out Corazon here in a minute. Hold on, let me finish one more question. Newish player, but I have a lot of champs. I've been stacking rogues with Jar Alexa for gold, but should I instead use other champion-specific gold find instead of Jar Rogues formation? Zato-san, are you specifically talking about when you're Azaka farming? Because when you're Azaka farming, you just use the people with the biggest values. Now, if you're trying to push with a gold formation, that's not going to work out for you. That's not going to work out for you at all. Yeah, that's making things way more difficult for you. So I'm not totally sure how to advise you here. I feel like I don't know. You're going to have to tell me if you're Azaka farming something. Just trying to get things going in general, getting more favor in general. Well, that's about deep pushing. That has nothing to do with your gold. I mean, it has to do with your gold find champions, but only in relation to deep pushing. So pushing real far with a strong formation, and then once you get there, using a method referred to as Azaka farming. If you don't have Azaka, you pick her up. Azaka farming to isolate a single enemy on a boss level, and then bully it for its lunch money. You make a lot of money that way. Yeah, I just did, if you go to my channel, Twitch TV /Gaarawarr, There is a highlight of unlocking Azaka, and at the end of that, I believe, we then went and Azaka farmed. I believe I did that recently. There are some videos of me on the CNE Games YouTube for Azaka and Azaka farming. Just note that in those, I really focused on isolating a mimic from Gym first. That's not really super viable anymore, so it's not really necessary to do. Just isolate a single enemy and get lots of Krull Pilfer stacks on them and profit. Oh no, I died trying to beat 700. I guess I actually have to put some kind of real formation in here. Huh? That would probably be useful. Probably. Alright, that should help a little bit. Just a little bit. Come on. Level all the way up. All the way. Stay away from me for a second. Stay away while I level up. Alright. Now, here we go. Yay, he's dead. Alright. That's 2 pages of questions. 2. Speaking of Corazon, Champion Spotlight is up. You can find it at the codename at codenameentertainment.com. Corazon joins us from the Ox Ventures Guild, so a teammate of Prudence. I appreciate the aesthetic. I'm all about that pirate aesthetic. Support champion, slot 8. So Delana slot swap, which also means Delana, Hitch, Vlanya, Walnut, Narak, Beetle and Grim, and Human. So yeah, taking up that slot. They're human rogue, chaotic neutral. Only available for Strahd and Zariel, so potential support for the higher end patron stuff. Let's look at the abilities here. Basic attack, Shadow Step. They attack a random enemy from the shadows. The random part is important. Formation ability, Pirate's Code. Corazon increases the damage of all neutral along the good-evil spectrum. Champions in the formation by 100%. So they prefer neutral. Grease is the word. Whenever Corazon attacks, he leaves behind a moderately sized puddle of grease under the enemy he attacked. These puddles do not hinder other champions, but they do slow enemies passing through them by 25%. The maximum number of grease puddles on the screen at once is equal to the number of neutral champions in the formation. The effect of grease puddles including the ultimate flaming puddles stack multiplicatively if an enemy is standing in multiple puddles at once. So here we go with multiplicative stacking things. So you get a multiplicative slow, but that's really only going to matter. That's really not going to matter because they're going to stack up in front of your formation. They're not moving anywhere unless it slows their attack speed, which it doesn't say here. But it will slow them a little bit as they're moving through them. It's the ultimate thing, which we'll get to, that is the nice stacking effect. Honorary crewmates. All champions adjacent to Corazon gain the neutral tag. This does not affect their other alignment tags. So you could be good, neutral, chaotic. Or chaotic, good, neutral. Yeah, so this is just about qualifying them for Pirate's Code, folks. This is about qualifying them for Pirate's Code as well as increasing your grease puddles, right? So don't think of it as outside of that. I mean, it may come in handy outside of that, but it's not going to disqualify anyone, I don't believe, for any access to variants and whatnot, because it only happens once you're in them. Yeah, so this doesn't affect their other alignment tags and doesn't affect whether they're eligible for the adventure, but will make them eligible for Pirate's Code and any other abilities that affect or are affected by the neutral tag. So it just kind of opens up the ability for the characters adjacent to them to be buffed in a neutral way. I'm already thinking that's... Yeah, that may mess with some potential Avern stuff. He's the one that buffs along that axis. Goat Pirate. No, that's a sheep. Increases the effect of Pirate's Code by 0.01% each time Corazon attacks, stacking additively and lasting until reset. Which kind of makes you want to combine them with champions, at least early on, that help you attack faster. Maybe? Just to stack that up, but yeah. Specializations, I read these earlier, and these are interesting. Because I don't think there is a... I don't think there's a best option. And honestly, I feel like you're not given something that you can just default to. And I don't know that I like that. I will let you make your own decisions here. Distant crewmates. Honorary crewmates now affects all non-adjacent champions instead of adjacent ones. So this is basically just where are you placing them in the formation. Because you'll notice the adjacency is the only thing that they have that affects them. And it's just about honorary crewmates. Nothing else requires any positioning. So this may be the default one. And you want to put them somewhere where they're next to as few people as possible. It's very... I mean, we'll see. Mage Hand. Grease no longer leaves behind puddles under the enemy Corazon attacks. Instead, it is dropped on the enemy furthest from the formation through creative use of a Mage Hand spell. The effect of these puddles is increased by 10% multiplicatively. This makes you feel like this is the one you would want all the time, but the ultimate, folks, but the ultimate. Because if this is only dropping things real far away, then it's dropping it where enemies are loading in on the screen, generally speaking, and then they're walking out of it. And that doesn't help with everything that's built up on your formation. Until you get to 100 enemies on the screen, and then it's dropping them all on that everybody. Yeah, but that's an edge case. So generally speaking, I don't like this, but it is useful when you're fighting a fixed position boss, right? Because you want it always kind of dropping on the boss because of this down here. Fiery Bombardment. Corazon's ship, the Joyful Damnation, fires flaming cannonballs from afar, damaging all enemies and lighting all existing grease puddles on fire for 30 seconds. That's just great. Enemies in the flaming grease puddles are dealt 1/30th this ultimate's damage per second and take 100% more damage while the puddle is on fire. So not only does it do damage to them, it debuffs them. So you kind of, because of this, you kind of want the grease puddles under your big stack of enemies. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I look forward to seeing people use it. I do like that this is an ultimate that's along the line of Jarlaxle's ultimate, where he calls in cannonball fire. This one fires flaming cannonballs, though, so it's a step up. I feel like Jarlaxle's gonna be a little jealous. Because frankly, this is a much cooler ultimate and interaction. Corazon is a support champion, so damage all champions on 2 items. Then you get buffs for Pirate's Code and Goat Pirate. And then it's about the ultimate stuff, which makes sense because, frankly, you want that ultimate doing damage and you want it up as much as possible. And as much as possible. So, yeah. It's Corazon de Ballena coming Wednesday to an Idle Champions platform near you. Where did I get? 725. Alright. I mean, I could probably... yeah, I mean, we could make this go further. Probably. I mean, we could add Avern. That'd make it go further. Who do I want to add Avon? Oh, I guess probably Penelope. Sorry, Penelope. Sorry, Penelope. So, because I'm using Shara, excuse me, I want to make sure that I have Avon set to neutral. This should work. This should work. Let's see how much further we can get with this. Apparently not very far because it stopped spawning enemies. Now it's back. Alright. I'm like, that's not fun. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's just do this and we'll automate all the things. All the things, folks. They're all automated now. All of them. You may have heard they weren't, but they are now. I said so. Did I lose my shorty pond? I did. That's fine. I'm not super worried. Where do I usually pick that up? Yeah, I'm not super worried about it. I can always swap like Penelope in for Grama. But I just want to get to 800. Whatever gets me to 800. Yeah, normally I have Regis. Normally I have Regis in there, but again, either Penelope or Regis swapping in where Grama is would get me there. Back to questions. Question 59, page 3. Diminutive asked, the colored Sword Coast map, is this a Steam update? Unlocked with progression or part of your beta client? Well, it's progression. It's progression. So this is the normal Sword Coast map. When you come up from down here and you hit the Mists of Ravenloft, that then sends you to Barovia with this map, right? And then when you finish all of this and you complete Towering Expectations, it kicks you back out to the Sword Coast. Up to here, into the Lurkwood. And then the Lurkwood sends you over here, and then when you go into the unknown, that sends you into the Underdark. And this is specifically these huge color pools. This is telling you the major caverns. The Worm Writhings, the Dark Lake, the Labyrinth, the Sharnlands, Oromikos, the Fardrim, right? And then there's different colored dots, like here's Slubladop. Yeah, Minzo Branzen's up here. And here, I think this is the entrance above ground, and this is the actual city. That makes far more sense to me. Blingdenstone, yeah, over here. So the colored dots are the actual cities. This is the above ground entrance or exit that's generally known. These are the major cities, or the major cities. So yeah, this is just part of your actual progress once you push through. Yeah, here's Gauntlgrim. All the way over here. Mount Hote now. Say what now? No. Hote now. Yep, so as we keep pushing through the Sword Coast, they'll keep taking us different places, and those maps are going to come in handy. Those maps are going to come in handy. How am I today? Monty Fromage. Yeah, can't complain. I went for a walk this morning before it got super hot. What's the temperature like here? We've had heat warnings, like advisories, all week. Oh, it's only 94 right now. You know, it's been up close to 100 just about every day, especially with the heat advisories. So, give a walk in the morning, and then work, and then I get to do this. GDR1, Grama, Ayla, or Freely. All three are great options. You kind of hit the jackpot because you can't go wrong with any one of those. That being said, Freely. I'm going to just say Freely. I think of those three, Freely's probably going to do a lot of work for you early on. Because Freely's right here in a swap with Minsk, so if you're a newer player, getting Minsk out and getting someone that works all the time in is a big deal. That's a big deal. Deacon or Cathris for the second champion and first slot. Deacon. Get you that speed champion. I'm usually fine with these, but for once I'm not sure, so I gotta ask. Frida, Dadius, or Levels for Melf? I mean, if you don't have Farida or Dadius, getting one of those is going to be good for just having a caster, for triggering Alcoria stuff. Whether you've picked Alcoria or not up yet or not. Dadius can actually support better than Farida But I do enjoy Frida DPS. So I would just pick one of those. I would pick either Frida or Dadius so that you have that flexibility in your lineup. Dinar or Stokey? Bublicon, I would go Dinar. I'd go Dinar. Unless you don't have a Jarlaxle swap yet. If you don't have a Jarlaxle swap for 4 yet, you want to pick Stokey. Because Stokey can support you while also giving you gold find. Kicking our grass. Grama, I have a time gate pieces to open 2 portals. Grama? I don't know. I have time gate pieces to open 2 portals, but I'm also willing to buy the year 1 pack in the near future. Same with Krull and the other pack. I don't have any news of future sales. Should I still open those 2 gates or go for someone else? I don't understand who was originally... I feel like something got cut off. So the year 1 pack. Let me go look. Year 1 All-Stars. Grama, Catti-Brie, Evelyn, Zorbu, and Deacon. It's still a solid pack. Yeah, I mean, if you're planning on doing this, then there's no reason to pick up any of these people in a time gate. And you would want to go somewhere else, because this is going to get you the second best DPS in the game. It's going to get you a solid speed champion, a good debuffer, and health sharer. Catti-Brie's still, if you don't have Freely yet, Catti-Brie's my second best, usually support champion in that slot. Evelyn, I mean, if you're going to get... You've got a Shara, and then hopefully Krull at some point. But Evelyn makes a good tank when you can't get there. I already have that other... I have the Year 3 All-Star pack, I guess. Must have gone on sale, and I was like, yes. So that one's going to have Krull and Nova and Averin, right? And it didn't have... Wasn't that the big hullabaloo was because it had Nova and Averin? Yeah. And a couple other people... They're all solid too. So yeah, I mean, generally speaking, don't target something you think you're going to buy. Find something else that's going to be useful. Because in that year 1 pack, yeah. So just in general, don't if you think you're going to buy that, don't target that with your time gates. I think I missed it. Dadius or Neris? They're both solid. Dadius can help you out with Alcoria, whereas Neris can't. So if that's a thing that you worry about, then you go Dadius. But they're both decent supports. Is there a must-have champion from time gates? Yes. I have 14 pieces, but I fear to do a bad decision. Calabale. Yeah, they're a must-have champion. The problem isn't that there isn't a must-have champion. The problem is that there are too many that are considered must-have champions. Generally speaking, my recommendation when someone asks is alternate your manual time gates or your just time gate pickups in general if you get lucky in your natural ones by picking a power champion, so someone who's going to push you further, and then a speed champion, so someone who's going to now get you to your new wall faster. I still highly recommend Krull as your first time gate champion because he gives you power to push and gold find to back it up with. And gold find is so huge when you're first starting. And Krull is DPS agnostic in the sense that he can work with any DPS except whoever's in his slot. I don't know why I keep having to say that disclaimer. People literally criticize me in Discord by saying, well, he can't work with anybody. He can't work with a Shara. Well, no, duh. Come on. But Krull can work with any DPS. Any other DPS out there. And early on, the deep pushing power just from his Pain Plague, and then the gold find that you get is good. And then you get gold from his Pilfer Plague. And that gold buys you more upgrades for the rest of your team. And then gets you more favor, which buys more blessings. So then on the next run, you go even further. So Krull's a big deal. I still think he's the first pick. After that, I think you pick up a speed champion. So you either get Dinar or you get Shandy. Shandy is in Krall's spot, but you use a speed champion to get you through the early parts faster, and then you switch to your power pushing formation like I did here. But yeah, so if you want someone from a different slot, grab Deacon. But Deacon and Shandy both work well. Deacon's usually the good solid option. If you don't want either of those two options, a strong power pushing champion, slot 1 or Kira. Freely is solid here in slot 7. Baloth, solid in slot 4. Early on, I mean, Avron is going to do lots of work for you later on, but Avron's real deep. You've got to be able to get to him to unlock him, and then you've got to get him to upgrade level 200 before he really starts his heavy lifting. So it may just be difficult. That may be difficult for new players. Ayla's a solid tank. Briv's a solid tank. I mean, there's lots of options. It's just, I think your first one still is Krall. Let's see. Birdsong, Morgaine, or Spurt. You already have Spurt. So Birdsong or Morgaine. Either one are great. Birdsong has the option of being a DPS instead of a support, though. But Morgaine is far more flexible in terms of placement. So Zardonius, I think you could go either way. Shark of 151. Been playing a while and have all the characters. What is the best way to prioritize gearing one toon over another? I look at who I'm using most, and then among those, I look at who gets the most benefit from having like epics, like the stronger powered items. So to use an example I just mentioned, like Avron, because of the way Avron's mirror images work, you get the effect of his... Hold on, where is it? This one. This item, getting an epic on this item is really important because it affects his... the buff off mirror image, but you get 4 mirror images out there. So you effectively get this item... You get the power of this item boosted across 4 instances. So you're getting more use out of that item, right? So figure out if there are characters who you're going to get a lot of use out of in terms of a certain item and look for that. If not, then you just pick whose abilities are going to help you the most if you happen to get those upgraded. Okay, I need to bring in Regis. Coming in off the bench. I don't know how tall he is. I was going to say standing 2 foot, but no, I don't. Anyway. Regis, coming in hot. Watch out. When I can finally get him to his soft cap. Jeez, okay. There we go. Yeah. And he just blows up. Which champions are going to be available in Bright Swords, except Corazon? Turiel and Lazaps. Raishai, who should I pick between Warden, Wolfgar, and Puent? Warden gives you the second in that slot, then you pick up Warden. I would have recommended Warden anyway, but that's like a double bonus. I feel like the questions were getting stacked at this point. Torpedziak, first champ from a time gate for new player. Krall? Yes, Krall. Torton, hey Gaarawarr, I want to give you my Prime sub. If I give it to you here, is it the same as your own channel? No, it's a different thing. But, you can... I appreciate that you want to give it to me. You would have to go to my channel to do that, twitch.tv/Gaarawarr. But, giving it here also supports shows like this one and the CNE Content Network. So, yeah. Diner J, I came in late, so maybe this was already asked. Will Corazon's ability to make people neutral mean we can build a better gold find team with neutrals? I mean, it's going to spread. So this was the interaction I was kind of worrying about, interested about. It's no, like I think what you're talking about is Freely, and Freely makes people. Freely has his specialization choices along the lawful, neutral, chaotic axis, and Corazon is the good, neutral, evil axis. These are 2 separate things. These are two separate things. So it's not going to change how you use freely. It's not how you change how you're going to like pick your freely specialization. But if you're using a neutral DPS champion and you put Averin to neutral and then you have Corazon in, that could be problematic. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful. Regis or Warden? They're both great. I get more use out of Regis, but they're both great. Warden, Binwin, or Mergain? Warden. Dinar, Birdsong, Alindra. Dinar? New player only have Hitch in the last 3 events champions. Yeah, I would go Dinar. Dinar is going to give you that healing flexibility that Celeste doesn't necessarily provide at all times. And a little more placement flexibility for the future. Elador, when Azaka farming, is it better to go Companions of the Hall or go for freely stacks with 2 lawful champs instead of Regis and Brunor? I would go for freely stacks, but I would set them up around also including Regis and Brunor. I mean, there's a way to do that. I mean, you just spec freely with whoever the most number of attacks are coming out of. Because you can't... because we don't really know, visually we don't get to see how many stacks of something freely is giving, which is... It's rough. You're just crossing your fingers and hoping. So I feel like just get you some guaranteed stuff and then also cross your fingers and hope while also having freely. But keep Regis and Brunor in there if they're giving you a lot of gold find. Cuddle Guts, for Akira stacking, which does more of the work, Artemis or Narak? Artemis. Artemis does the heavy lifting in Akira stacking. Whoa. Hype train. Hype? I've probably been missing stuff going on in chat. But I see the hype train. Bayushi Akira. Gifted a sub. To Anchovies. 008. And now there's a hype train going. Which champions are... Oh, I already did that one. My eyes always reset to the top. My eyes always reset to the top. I gotta stop doing that. Oh, that was the wrong... There we go. Is Ayla coming for free soon? I have 31 time gate pieces and was thinking she might be my first manual time gate. Just go ahead and get her. Hold on. Because I'm going to have to look up to see. Part of me wants to say no. But off the top of my head, I don't remember. Yeah, no. She's only available in time gates, so grab her. That's what I thought. She's a year 2 champion, and we already passed her event, so... Pop that time gate. Kill them all. Get 5 subs. 5 gift subs. All the love in chat. Rand DT, Pabilius, Narf, Waramir, DJ Eternal Darkness. You all got gift subs from Killmall. Meister Wilbur gifted a sub to Gundam Quake. All the gift subs in chat. Yeah, so Ayla's retired. Ayla's what people call retired. I just refer to her as a time gate champ. So yeah, you can pick her up right away. What's the best way to get new characters when starting? Just play the game. Just big old rhino. Just play through the game. Every like we're gonna have an event. Like we have a time gate weekend right now. This happens every 3 weeks. You're gonna get to pick up 1 for free. Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, you'll get 3 champions coming as part of the event. So on average, you get 4 champions a month. That's pretty solid. There's also evergreen champions out there. So if you haven't done it yet, open your menu, click on the newsletter, sign up for the newsletter. Not only are you going to get a free gold chest or free gold chest of some type each weekend with a chance for gear in it. It's this weekend. It's the Strength in Numbers weekend with that weighted chest, and it's going to give you gear for these 5 people potentially if you own any of them. Well, you have Niali and Delana for sure, so it'll give you gear for them. But then you also get Hitch right away, and then you can earn Dritz, Azaka, Dragonbait, Alcoria, and Rhea by playing through different campaigns in the game. Is Ayla just way better overall? Is it worth taking Wolfgar into consideration for the companion buffs at all? Um, if you're just talking pure tanking, Ayla blows Wolfgar away. Wolfgar, however, is who you use if you're Azaka farming. Usually, you set up the Azaka farm and then you swap Wolfgar in to tank because he's got the gold find bonus. But Ayla in general is a better overall tank. The reason for that is Ayla has a self shield. Currently, self shielding tanks are just the strongest tanks in the game because shielding is the strongest defensive measure in the game right now. As long as it's a significant shield. Ayla's is significant. It's 10% of her health, of her max health, per electrified enemy while she's being attacked. And it rechecks and re-updates itself every 15 seconds. So the bonus here is that you can have... there isn't a cap on it except for the cap on the number of enemies on the screen, and there can be up to 100 enemies on the screen at once. So technically, she could get up to 1,000% of her health as a shield. So this means you just make her stronger when you pop health potions or you have multiple tanks in that have health share. She's just super strong, super strong. The second one that has that's a self-shielding tank that has a significant shield is Tyrell. His relies on his ultimate though, so until you can get his ultimate capped out on the cooldown timer capped out so that it's always up. His can be problematic, and that's why I think Ayla is better. But once he can keep that up all the time, it's very hard. It's very hard to kill Tyrell or Ayla in those regards. Now, there are other shields out there. Wolfgar has kind of a shield, I think, at one point, but it's not significant in the same way. And also, Wolfgar really only works with the Companions of the Hall. He has buffs that are specifically for them. Whereas Ayla can just work with anyone. She's gonna protect herself and she's gonna debuff enemies, and that synergizes with everyone. New player here. Who do I choose for a time gate? Narak, Puent, or Rosie? Narak. Colonel side quest. Narak. Torton, does Codename ever give a familiar away with a code? I don't think I've ever seen that. Give me a second. No, I mean, they've given away familiars not tied to a code that I can recall. Not tied to a code that I can recall. That's another page of questions done. Yay! Lazaps or Birdsong? Birdsong, because Lazaps is coming up next event. Frozen Mouse. I'm a new player. Welcome. Grama, Ayla, or Briv? They're all good choices. You just heard me talk about Ayla. They're all good choices. But yeah, I'm just gonna say they're all good choices. There's not a bad choice in those three options. So as a new player, what you want to do is look to see which one is going to give you an option for that slot. So you want to have, starting off, you want to have 2 champions in each slot. That's your starting target, and kind of your short-term goal. Because once you have 2 champions in every slot, it unlocks this box down here where you can unlock a new party and also get a Modron core. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So the sooner you can do that, the better. All right, we're in the 830s and we're capped out. I mean, I could keep pushing this probably... Ooh, with this formation, probably to 1,000. I'm not going to do that, though. I'm going to say 8 silver chests is good enough for me. And I'm going to close it. So notice I pushed longer on that one than I did the first one, but that's because I had the gold to back it up, right? And I soft capped all my champions, so I could have kept going. But now I'm going to... Oh, wow, okay. I'm going to come over here and just do the variant. I'm just picking random stuff because why not? Seriously. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Here's Lazaps. Let's get the zaps on the field. Oh. No tanks? Oops, no tanks. Alright. Oh, I was going to go for Dragon Bait, but he wasn't available, so we'll take Nova. We'll get Nova out here for another tank. And do we have a DPS? Nope. Zorbu. We'll go old school on this one. We'll bring Zorbu out. And I kind of want to do something more like that. And that. There we go. That'll get me through this. I mean, my click damage would have got me through this, but, you know. Alright. 87. Wow, okay. Question 87. In all upcoming events, will they phase out all Year 2 champions, so only Year 3, 4 new? Well, we only have one more. There's only one more event in Year 4. That's the one coming next week. So, that's the last Year 2 champion you'll ever see in an event. So, Year 5, event Year 5 starts with High Harvest Tide, which is coming up after this next event. And then, yeah, all Year 1 and Year 2 champions are time gate only after that. So going forward in Year 5, it's going to be Year 3, Year 4, plus whoever the new Year 5 one is. Orion the Wise, in Towering Expectation, the one where the boss heals, that's Strahd. Put some respect on his name. Yeah, he's a vampire. He heals himself when he hits you. Tried to do it and got stuck. From what I read, I need some specific heroes to get the boss away from melee. Is that the only way? It's the best way. It's the best way. I will say you have Ashara. Ashara can push them away. Ashara also takes off multiple chunks at once. So that's good. You have Nayeli, who can stun, so you can Ashara push away, stun with Nayeli, and then you've got until it gets back up to you to kill it, right? That's kind of, yeah, that's how it works. You have to figure ways, as someone just said in chat, Colby said in chat, you can stun him a little bit for a short period of time, but basically he's clicking slowly, so don't have familiars out. Click slowly so that he kind of stutter steps towards you until that wears off, because that only lasts for a certain amount of time. And then you can't do that click thing anymore. And then you push away, and then right before they get to you, then you push them away with Ashara's ultimate and stun them at the back end with Nayeli. And then just hope you can kill them before they get back to you. That's using using core champs, there's my advice. Obviously, there are other champions that you could throw on this, like throwing in Grama. Grama's in her Arctic spec is going to slow down his movement speed and his attack speed if he does get up to you. Dinar has got a knockback, but it's not every single time. Grama also has a wall that she can put up to lock him away. So there's a lot of different potential ways to do that, just depending on who you have. So take your champion pool, drop it in Formations, the Formations channel in Discord, and someone will help you puzzle your way through that. Graydon, outside of the odd variant, is there much use for Jamila? I never seem to use her on purpose. Patron challenges. Jamila is one of those that just doesn't get a lot of use right now in the current state of the game. She's not quite Rosie level DPS, but she's not there. Sigma JT, how much more favor would you recommend I get to beat the mission to unlock Rhea? I tried with E30 and failed. It's not about your favor. If you can soft cap your champions, the issue isn't your favor. Favor isn't going to get you much more. You have to have a formation that can actually do the job. Yeah. So my tip for Rhea Reborn, I believe that's the name of the unlock one. And this is one of the very few times in this game I'm going to say this as advice. Try not using any tanks at all. Build a formation with 1 DPS and 9 support champions. 9 of your strongest support champions. and no tanks. Because here's the thing, when you get to the end of Rhea Reborn, if the enemies touch your tank line, they disable your tanks. Which means you don't get any of the benefit of tanks. Because the main benefit usually of tanks is a ramping buff. Ayla is one exception. Ayla could stay in because she doesn't have to be hit to provide her debuffs or her other ramping type of buffs. But generally speaking, a tank is at its strongest when it's tanking enemies and giving you another bonus. So just build without tanks in mind. Build with just support champions. Give yourself the most DPS possible, and just try to blow through it without them ever touching your front line. That's my advice. Favor isn't going to do it. Favor isn't going to do it. Once you've soft capped your champions, Favor isn't what's going to get you through a variant that requires you to build a formation. It's just not. The only place Favor comes in and is the only way you're going to beat something, truly, is Tale of Two Champions. Alright, so I finished my time gate, folks. That was it. I'm done. Closing my gate. Going back to the real game now. I mean, this is part of the real game. But, yeah. So that was all I had to do. That was all I had to do. I will set this up for everybody's favorite. I probably can do regular stuff. And then I instantly get to choose. Right now, with the upcoming... well, right now, because I have a really nice favor in Torm, I'm not interested in getting more. Lately, I've been dumping into Tiamat's favor because they said more blessings are coming. So I'm like, well, let's go to some of the undervalued ones. So I'm throwing into Tiamat's. Throwing down with Tiamat. And we'll just let... okay, you can start spawning enemies now. There we go. We'll let this do its thing. Let's put this back on 100. There we go. And we have about... No, we got about... Well, the song's going to take about 4 minutes. So we're going to go out again on the skeleton song. Dance Macabre from Bardic Inspiration this week. So we got about 12 minutes. 15 minutes. Let's see. Oh, good. Wow. Okay. I got a whole other page of questions here still. Let me make sure I am where I am. There we go. Yayami, can you get to level 1k without using click debuff prior to the first time? Subsequent run should be easier when you have the favor from the first time. I mean, you can get there without using click debuff because you're not riding favor for a pushing formation. It's just you would need a very strong pushing formation, right? I've gotten there with Ashara before, but that's, double bonded with all the patron perks and a level 15 epic Modron, right? You don't necessarily need all that for click debuff, so it just depends on which way you want to do it. Big Roost, Ayla, Stokie, or Penelope? Ayla. Death Dragon, Dinar, Talon, or Deacon? You already have Deacon in full blues. Dinar. Fatherwind, Wolfgar, or Melf? Melf for the speed. Melf is a great speed champion. He needs some item levels, but it's yeah, definitely part of your speed group. Lord Javax, since it's Delena's weekend, which spec for her does the most damage? I use the right one. And I don't mean correct, I mean directional. The one on the right hand side. Whichever one that is. Because I think that's what boosts her actual ability to set Bud and changes her yeah. I don't use Dellen a whole lot, but so I think I looked into it a long time ago and felt that the right one was the best one. So I'm just going to stick with that until I have a reason not to. Birdsong or Neris, both. They're both fine. Birdsong could be a DPS, so you have more of an option there if you want to weigh it a little more towards Birdsong. Strix or Farida. Farida would help me get the speed core faster than Farida. The speed core is a big deal. Narcissist X Live. My time gate is Grama, Freely, and Dinar. Those are all great. Freely. Freely's a well-used Freely will probably get you more than the other, than like a Grama, who would be my second choice. Wolfgar, Lucius, or Walnut. Cylinder Sama. Wolfgar for gold farming. For your Zaka formation. Walnut's a nice tank and can be a support. Lucius I don't really find myself ever using. Birdsong, Krull, or Vlanya. Krull. Dinar or Talon? Dinar. I'm doing general purpose recommendations here, by the way. If you go watch Gaarawarr's Guide to Click Debuff, which was last weekend's tutorial show, you'll know that Talon is more important for that than Dinar, but generally speaking, I would choose Dinar. Lord Zanuck, Ishi, Morgaine, or Korth. You have Korth already. Feel like you won't use Ishi and Morgaine and already have split the party too. I would still pick up Morgaine. Morgaine is a super flexible support and worth having in your roster. Has there been a Gaarawarr's Guide to Gear levels? I don't recall, but it might be interesting. Monkey House, there is a... There are Gaarawarr's Guides to items and consumables. So... items is what we're talking about when you're talking about gear. And then consumables have stuff that affect gear, right? So that already exists. I've done that as a tutorial show too, I believe. But not just, I don't do like some super big breakdown of, hey, here's the best way to put your blacksmithing contracts or all that kind of stuff. There are people in the community to do that, though. You can ask for it in the Discord and someone will get that to you. But that's more... high-end in-game guide type stuff, and I tend to target mine to new players specifically. And a new player really, I mean, it isn't something you super have to have on your mind when you're new. Derek Gonzalez, Melf or Farida? Melf. Let's go for speed, the utility of the speed. What's the better second spec for Avon? Always sturdy mirrors. Paint it black. Always sturdy mirrors. I've never seen a situation where I would go with the other one. I just don't know that it exists. If you were in the situation where you would go with the other one, then it's not a situation where you'd be using Avon, is basically what it comes down to. There'd be a better buffer available. Marindor, I'm missing only one new champion in slot 11 for doing the first split the party. Having enough pieces for an additional manual time gate. Which champion should I go to? Avon. Slot 11, Avon. You can always just push through Tomb of Annihilation and unlock Dragon Bait, though, as well. But since you have a time gate piece, Avon. Just keep in mind that after you get Avon, to have... for like the second split the party, you just need to push through and get Dragon Bait. But Avon will help you a lot in getting Dragon Bait. Like a whole lot. Oh my gosh. Yeah. To be clear, I just did Dragon Bait a couple weeks back on my new player account. Again, the max gear rarity I have there is blues. It was a mix of greens and blues when I did Dragon Bait. And I tried to do it with all core champions and couldn't quite pull it off. It was almost there. Added one champion and was able to beat it, and that one champion was Krull. Krull makes it super easy, but if I had had Avon would have done it too. So if you have other... if you're worried about unlocking Dragon Bait because you don't think you're strong enough, the key is have E23 favor, which you should have just picked up Azaka, so that shouldn't be a problem. And then you just need a couple, at least one, maybe two or three event champions that are going to give you a little better options for when you get to the final battle. And make sure you have potions. Epic potions, especially for Gold Fund, just so you can soft cap. But that's it. You can do it. I believe in you. Zorbu, Esmeralda, or Aquila. Go ahead and grab Jack Jazzhands. Go ahead and grab Zorbu because you're going to want him later, even if you don't use him right now. Strix or Morgaine? I think either one. I think either one is fine. If you're newer, Strix is going to be probably a better DPS option when you can't use Ashara. Or if you pick up Krull and you want to use Strix with Krull, that works really well. Because Strix has debuffs when they're up close, and Krull wants them up close. So Zato-san, referring to my previous question about gold favor formation, you mentioned a Zaka farming stream you did recently. Was that here on your own channel? It was on my own channel. I unlocked. There should be a highlight for unlocking a Zaka on a new player account. And then I just ran an Azaka farm, like a new player Azaka farm. Harky Twitch, is there a point in revisiting variants? Free plays aside from getting favor. Well, you can't revisit a variant once you've done it. Once you've done it, it's done. You can only then do the patron version of that, and then once you've done that, that's done too. So free plays are generally just for getting, if you need to build favorite of campaign. But then there's Mad Wizard, which is where everybody tends to go, well, to start off their gem farming experience. Jazzy GG, new player here. Welcome. Should I cash in on the weekend chest right away, even though I don't have anyone but core? Or should I hang on to the chest for the day when I finally get those champs? That's a fantastic question. People don't usually ask this. If you can be patient, I recommend waiting until you own at least 3 of the champions that the chest qualifies for. We're talking about weekend chests specifically. So like right now, that chest is only going to drop gear for Delina and Nayeli if you don't own Torrigar, Ayla, or Dinar. You're getting gear for Nayeli and Delina out of regular silver chests, regular gold chests, and electrum chests already. So you could probably wait. Like that one weekend chest you get from the newsletter, hold on, just for the chance that it could go to gear for those other players. It's not going to be a big deal. If you want to pop it, pop it. But, you know, if you want to wait, at least get 3 out of the 5 champions. And then pop that chest, just for the chance. Especially if you go ahead and buy, like if you signed up for the newsletter and you get the weekend chest, then you buy the 3-pack of chests in the store. That guarantees you an epic because that's 4 chests, and the pity timer is 4 when you run into a chest for the first time. So the weekend chest is kind of set up as a starter Ayla situation because you're going to get a potential epic for one of the champions. You're going to get a sweet Ayla feat that just makes her even more survivable. And a cool skin. And then just once you have Ayla, then you would be able to pop those chests and cross your fingers that the epic lands on Ayla. Let's see. New to the game, so I'm not familiar with the champions. My time gate is Turiel or Binwin. Yeah, Turiel's going to arrive on the next event, so go ahead and grab Binwin. There should be a 3rd option there, Danimal Roar. You should be given 3 options. Is there a maximum stack for Freely stacks? Not that I'm aware of. I don't think it says there's a maximum anywhere in his text. But the thing is we don't even know what we don't even know what numbers he gets on his stacks. We don't know. So I don't know. Real quick, because I saw this one come in and it's Ayla referenced, and we have Ayla out today. For Ayla, would you recommend using +10 Overwhelm or +60 Health? Health. Because the health is what generates the shield, and the shield is what's doing all your defensive work. How common is the chance to get a new character? Are there chances with time gates on every weekend? A natural time gate weekend list like this happens every 3 weeks. This game runs on a 3-week cycle. So we just had a content drop on Wednesday. We have a natural time gate on Friday. Next Wednesday, we start an event. That event is going to run for 2 weekends. So 12 days. It will end on a Monday. The Wednesday after that, we get a content drop. The Friday after that, we get a time gate. See, it's just going to cycle like that. So everything's on a 3-week cycle. So, you know, you're going to get a chance at 4, well, depending on up to 4 new champions every month. Cathris or Barrowin? Cathris. Stokey, Lucius, or Black Viper? Stokey. Balkan 25. Are natural time gates open for 25 hours from opening or 72 hours from opening? Where did I get 25? Or 72 hours from appearance? Yes. So the time gate weekend starts and the natural time gate is open for 72 hours. You have 72 hours to choose your champion and open their time gate to the past. Once you've opened it, you get 72 hours from that point to finish it. So you could wait 71 hours and 59 minutes and then choose your champion, and then you'd still have 72 hours to finish it. So yes to both. Doing a free time gate, is Farida or Sergeant Knox better to get? I would say Farida. Advice on A Tale of Two Champions. Sam the Alien, favor. Because you're clicking through Tale of Two Champions. It's all about doing lots of click damage. You're going to start off with a pair of gold farm champions, so like Jarlaxle and somebody else that gives you just instant gold find, nothing that has to build up. And then you're going to rely on click damage to kill everything on the field. You put them all the way in the back of the formation. And then when something starts to get up to them, then you swap for a champion that can tank and also maybe provide some gold find. And ultimately, you're going to end up in 2 debuffers. So you're going to end up with like Krull and Gromma are a set. Ayla and Krull is a better set. Basically, the tank in the front and the other one in the behind. And ultimately, it's all a click debuff thing. So it's all about favor. Man, I'm not going to get all of these. I'm trying. Are there any plans to buff the Strong Core? Doubt it. I'm not a dev. The Strong Core is great for melee champions. It works better than the Modest Core and the Fast Core for melee champions. Lucius or Vlanya? New player, first time gate. Avron, Strix, or Farida? Avron. Are the patrons on different clocks? No. They all reset Mondays at noon. Melf, Stokey, or Paulton? Melf. Sentry Talon or Stokey? Sentry. Just got 515 Elturels last day and I can't seem to get past that. Any tips? You're going to need more power somewhere. You've probably got favor, so you're going to need power either from patron perks or leveling up your Modron Core. Last question, and we're done. 128 questions today. On your written Dragon Bait tutorial, can you please add the recommended favor? It's in there. I updated. It's E23. E23. It should be in there. I swear. I'll check it again, but I swear I updated that as one of the things I updated. That's it, folks. 128 questions today. It's I get more of them done when we're just doing time gate ones because you just ask me to pick a champion out of a couple. If you have more questions tomorrow, Gaarawarr's Guide to Patrons. We just talked about some of that. Revisited, because I have done Gaarawarr's Guide to Patrons before, but we're revisiting it because now we have Zariel to talk about, and we want to make sure that we're talking about all of our current patrons in the game. So join me tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific for that. First hour is a tutorial, second hour is Q&A. Other than that, I'm out. So we're going to go out listening to Dance Macabre, song from this week's Bardic Inspiration. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Bye.
Once I had a heart, a liver and a brain, fell on my own sword. Now this is what remains, raised up by dark magic, then my flesh was shed. Now I serve my master as animated dead. Every new adventurer is fodder once they're floored, a walking bag of bones to add to our decor. They bring us everything we need inside our worthless hides. From within their flesh, our new soldier shall arise. Welcome to the dance macabre, the eternal skeletal mob, rattling our bones to necromantic tones. I'm your widest grin, I've become a skeleton. Dance macabre. I have no tongue with which to speak, no sinews guide my hand. Still I march in step to my dark master's command.